Let me take you back to the place where we grew. It was more than just a track in the schoolyard vibes where legends were made. Boys turned to men in the games that we played. Under the sun, life's lessons came raw. Every challenge faced made us stronger for sure. Running through the dirt with our dreams in the race. Competing for respect, every heart was in place. Those playground rules, they became our creed. From basketball courts to the fields of speed. We hustled and flowed with every passing day. Learning how to stand up when life's in the way. In the schoolyard, that's where it began. Brotherhood forged, hand in hand. Through sweat and pain, through laughter and tears, we connected for life. Through our hopes and fears. Remember those battles we fought tooth and nail. Pushing through the struggle, we were destined to prevail. Tagging walls with dreams, spitting rhymes on the fly in the chaos of youth. We reached for the sky, from playground kings to the dreams we pursued every moment we...
Well, welcome to another episode of the Schoolyard. In our new digs, man. We on, because I'm checking this out on Facebook, YouTube, live right now as we speak.
So, we actually got to hear the whole song clear.
Well, you know what? Because this, I can program this into the system.
Yeah.
So it's in there. So yeah, it's in. So it's like embedded in there, man. So it's like, yeah, everybody's like having your own, man. So he emphasized clear.
Yeah.
So anyway, welcome to the Schoolyard. Yours truly, Chris Pender Sr.
Vincent, every day is Saturday, Scott. Peace.
Tommy Maurice Franklin.
Oh, he used the middle name tonight.
Use the middle name today.
Maurice.
My middle name too long, man. We be here forever. I remember having to get him spell my name. He's like, man, this dude got it again.
Yeah, that happened to be my first day at school. You know, they like, all right, who your best friend? I said, that Chris Pender. They said, well, you got to spell his name. I said, Christopher, and his middle name, Alexander.
Yeah.
Oh,
my name was long than the alphabet.
Look, my brother's middle name is Augustine.
Oh, who, Paul or Virgil?
I'm not telling.
Okay.
Anyway, prayers go off the mic, man. Hope he feels better. Hope he's checking us out, man.
Yeah.
I don't know if Kevin's going to join us, but so how you like the new digs, guys?
I love it.
This is the first one. This is the first show. I haven't done other shows. This is the first show I've done on this, man. So I saved it for us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it looks nice. Looked like I lost Vincent for a second.
He's coming back.
Okay, I'm back.
Yeah, it is. It's clearer.
I was trying to clear something off the screen, but yeah, I better leave it there.
It's clearer.
Navigate all the way around.
Yeah.
But it's clearer. It sounds better, man. And even look at it on Facebook. Yeah, it's just so much clearer, man. Yeah.
Okay, that's what's up.
Because I got my iPad open next to us, man. It kind of has. The only thing is, it got a names underneath us, though. So remember.
Yeah. Yeah.
So then you put it in, they can identify you.
Yeah, I gotta get rid of that plus sign.
That's all right, man. I mean, you're getting better.
Yeah. Working
anyway, so what we're gonna talk about tonight is the meaning of life. The meaning of life.
Meaning of what?
Life.
Oh wow.
No, because it's something that I was telling Vincent, right? I don't have high blood pressure, never dealt with it. So I come home yesterday, right? And I'm like, just not feeling well. And I'm feeling lightheaded, feel a little dizzy. I'm like, yo, what's going on? So I took my blood pressure, man, it was through the roof. It was through the roof, man. The top number was like 148. I was like, yo, God.
Yeah, what happened?
So I don't know. And it was just, but it really made me start thinking, man, how easy the script can flip.
Yeah, we the age where you got to be careful, man.
Yeah.
You got to be careful because something can happen just like that.
Yeah, and it's like, man, so I started thinking, I was like, wow, man, you start thinking about, what am I leaving behind? What's my legacy going to be? You start thinking about, man, was I a good dad? All this stuff was like in my head, man. Meanwhile, I'm like floating like a feather, man. So I was like, so it got better this morning, and then I'm okay, I got to take it. So I got to go to the doctor, but I don't know what happened. So, but it really made me start thinking about, man, life, man. What is life, man?
Well, your body sends out warning signals, bro.
Yeah.
So best thing to do is make an appointment.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
a
I
good
mean,
thing.
make an appointment, make sure everything all right.
Yeah, it's a tough subject. My brother Mike, who normally on with us, he was in hospital today, so we was talking about that same thing, Vincent. How we wait to the last minute, you
Yeah,
get there and they say you should have been here last week,
Yeah.
but
yeah.
you know, fortunately
You
he's getting
thinking it's gonna go away in a couple of days, and it
yeah,
don't.
yeah,
By the time you go, it's like,
yeah. By the
yeah,
Well,
time you
you
go there,
know what? But I should know better because well, Tommy knows. So Vincent don't. I had the Viculitis. You had when you bleed and stuff.
yeah, the
So
diverticulitis.
yeah.
Yeah,
So I go to DC on a Monday to speak at this conference. Monday night it starts. So I'm thinking it's gonna pass, man. I'm thinking Tuesday. So I stayed down there until Thursday. I get on the train, come home Thursday, and I'm real tired. I'm like dogged out, man. Like why am I so tired? So I come home, I call the doctor. The doctor said, well, you should go to the hospital immediately. Come on, I got meetings and stuff tomorrow, man. I'll go when I get out my meetings tomorrow, Friday. So I go to Friday. I'm in the school in South Philly. You know, um, and I was like, man, Vince, I walk up this, it was a school like Stokes. You walk up the fire tower steps.
yeah.
I walk up 3 flights of stairs. Man, I thought I ran a marathon. So I go in the bathroom, man, I wake up and I'm laying on the floor. Yeah. And I'm looking at my watch. I was out for like 5 minutes. So and I'm bleeding.
Man,
Yeah, and I'm in a pool of blood. So I get up and I go, and this kid wasn't even supposed to be on the third floor. Was up there playing around. He saw me. So he was like, no, you can't go down the steps. You got to sit down. You got to sit down. So me, I'm going to drive home. I'm like, I'm driving home. So they were like, yeah, we got to go to the hospital. I'm not going to the hospital in South Philly. I was like, no. Ain't no way.
that's not a knock on South Philly.
I was like, no. I'm an organ donor too. I was like,
You want to
no.
be somewhere familiar? I understand.
So long story short, man, I end up losing 6 pints of blood, man. So I'm thinking the nurse was like,
Wow,
the nurse was
that's
like,
a
what were you
lot.
thinking? Yeah, because they say if you lose 6 pints, well, my wife think I do have brain damage. It says you get brain damage and all kind of stuff. But it was like, she was like, the nurse and the doctor was like, well, what are you thinking? What were you thinking? And it's like, I wasn't. I just, you just put it
Yeah,
off. So I learned my lesson.
yeah, yeah. First signs.
I
I'm
learned my
out.
lesson, man. Yeah. But also, so let's get back into this. The meaning of life. What does that mean to you, man? No wrong answer.
well, you know what? When I talk about life, I spoke at many funerals, and my favorite poem is that Dash by Linda. I forget her last name. But when she talks about when they put up on that tombstone or even on your obituary, from this day to this day, and
Sunset, sunrise.
that little space in between represents your life.
Yeah,
So when most people look at that little space and say, "Oh, that need to be a lot bigger," because of what I've done through my life, or all the people that's sitting there looking at me, and
right.
and sad because I'm no longer here. So you value that space in between from the day you're born to the day you die. You value that
Yeah,
space. So I mean, for me, that's a good thing about life is that you
yeah.
need to value your time while you're here.
I mean, as we get older, the meaning of life changes.
Yeah.
When you're young, you trying to live life. You're trying to enjoy all the fruits of your labor and this and the other. Once you get, you know, up in our realm in the '60s, senior citizen realm, a lot of different things become important. Like for me, I'm finding out that peace is like,
Yeah.
man, that's high on my totem pole. And the fact that my family doesn't have to struggle, I'm not struggling. I pretty much go out and do what I want. I could take a month cruise, but I'm not.
Right.
But it's just being, happy within
Yeah.
yourself, feeling like you accomplished, what you set out to do.
I mean, I think when I was a freshman, I had this college professor, and she said something, and I never forgot it. She said, "No individual has any right to come into this world and pass through without leaving behind distinct, legitimate reasons for having been here." You know, and I was like, "Wow!" And I just, I still know by heart. So obviously he had an impression on me. But I think about that. And I'm like, man, have I done anything that's going to outlive me? Other than our kids, yeah. But,
Yeah,
what have I done? And I think about that a lot, man.
yeah,
I do because Tommy said it. Some people you go to the funeral, man, is just sunrise and sunset.
yeah.
Nothing in between. He was born, he died. It's like
Born and died. Yeah, that's just like
it
that.
is. It's like
What's
yo,
what's in between? Yeah.
yeah,
But you
you
know
doing
what?
it.
After the end of the day, when we all leave here, life as everybody knows it is going to continue. I
Yeah,
mean, there'll be some people that mourn you, but you know, hopefully they'll get over it and continue living their life. So it's not that you're forgotten, it's just, time keeps moving forward.
right. I mean, it's just I think about it. And so to me, I mean, the meaning of life, man, is a lot of things. But to you, I'm right, Vince. You're right. At this stage, peace is at the center of it.
Yeah.
Peace, but not just peace, also contentment. Like
Yes.
I like
Yes.
what you said when you said that you don't have to do this, you don't have to do that, man.
Yeah.
And I think, yeah, I think peace and contentment is kind of the center of what I think the meaning of life is. I think all of the stuff that I chased my entire life, man, was really not important. When you look at things, you chase this, you chase, it's not really important.
Yeah.
Wow.
When you work, it's stuff that you have to do.
Wow.
When you retire and you wake up, you might have had an agenda that you wanted to get this, and this done today. But it's like, I don't feel like doing none of that today. And it's all right.
It is.
It's, it's,
But
it's
that's a sweet
perfectly
place
all
to be.
right.
That's a sweet
You
place to
know what I
be.
mean?
Yeah. That's a good plan. I think the sooner you get to those stages of contentment and peace, the better.
Yes, yes,
I mean, the sooner you can make
yes.
some people they don't get there. So I
Yeah,
think
they don't. They
when you
don't.
get there, I think that makes it life a
I
lot
mean,
easier for you. Is
to
that
be able
how do I get there?
to look back on your life, and I mean, we all can look back and say it's things that we should have done or we could have done different, but you know, it's stuff that I regret not doing. But overall, I'm happy with the way things turned out.
And
You
not,
know,
when people
and
ask me, I always say the same thing. I'm living my best life. So everything you just said, Vince, I totally agree with. My
yeah,
problem is I gotta always have something to chase. I
Yeah.
do. It's just, I just it's just like I do. Tom and I talk. I don't know if I could just like retire and do nothing. I
it's a
don't know.
beautiful thing. That's all I got to say.
It is. It
I
is.
wish I would have did it earlier.
Yeah.
The concept
Yeah,
of it sounds fantastic, man. But it's
yeah.
like I don't know.
I
I
mean, the thing is, it's because of what you do, it's stuff that you can do to fulfill those needs or that void to get out there and get involved and everything like that. But also, you have the opportunity to say, "Man, I don't feel like doing nothing today." I told myself, and I used to laugh, talking with the guys I work with, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna pick one day out the week where I'm gonna do absolutely nothing. Don't ask me to do nothing. don't don't even think about saying, look, let's go here, let's go there, let's go out to dinner. I ain't doing nothing. I might not even put clothes on. I might just sit there in my pajamas all day.
I've gotten
I
better.
don't do that. I don't do
Yeah,
that, but
I've gotten
I
better.
had
I
that
can do that.
opportunity.
But there
That's
was a
that's on
time
the
when
table.
there was a time when I couldn't do that. I can do that, but there's a time when I couldn't do that. Where even my kids were like, "You, if I was home, I was doing yard work. I was doing
Yeah,
something. I was finding something to do. So now I'm getting to the point where I can do that. But it just feels like,
yeah.
like what's the next goal? What's the next thing I got to chase and conquer, man?
Well, look, 90% of your day becomes by choice.
Um,
You got the things that you have to do, but for the most part, yeah, by choice.
Man, if I was home, I would gain weight because I would just eat, man. I mean,
That's why
I
I
would
go
just
to the
eat
gym.
snacky. I do. I'm a snacker.
That's
I
why I
got all
go
the
to the
stuff.
gym.
I work out here, but if I'm home, I'm like when I work. That's why I'm like working from home because when I work from home, man, I'm watching sports on TV all day long, man. I'm like snacking, man. It's like I'm eating potato chips. I got chocolate. I got all kind of stuff going on.
But you know what? One of the things I find important is, a lot of times you get kind of not stuck in a rut, but you need to get up, move. Like, all right, I need to get out the house. Because I'll get up first thing in the morning. I'm up with my wife. She leaves the
Yeah.
house around 6 o'clock. I got all the best intentions. But then that little man tapped me on my shoulder and said, "Go ahead, lay back down, man.
But you earned it.
You ain't gotta do nothing."
But you earned it. And I mean,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
different if you never did anything. You just did that your whole life. But you earned it.
yeah. Well, I went down to the Mint the other day and to meet, some of my coworkers for lunch. And the first thing they was like, "Don't you miss it?" I said, "I miss the people." And I said, "I don't miss y'all that much. I can call y'all anytime." But we
Let's be
laugh and
emotional.
talk. There's just like, people coming out, "Yo, Scotty, what's up, man? What you coming back?" No. I said I started staying across the street because I didn't want to be too close to the building.
Right.
Well, you know what? I say the same thing. Like I always said, I love working. I love my
Yeah,
job. I love what I did. I mean, they had to make me get out of there, but I got
yeah,
out
yeah,
of there, and then I realized, oh man, all my life I was like, I can't spend 2 hours in prison. We talked about this before, but
yeah,
when you at work and when you have to do something, it's it's actually prison to some degree because you have to do it. So when you say sit home and do nothing, hey, I sit home and do nothing, but hey, if the moon hits me, I go out and I
you can
run
do
the
whatever you want.
grandkids around. I do something. I go up.
But
I
you
go to
know,
work. You
I
know.
was I was the same way, Tommy. I enjoyed my job. I really enjoyed my job. I was good at it.
Yeah.
I enjoyed training the people that I trained and everything. But after going through, what I mean, about with cancer, yeah,
Yeah.
life outlooks kind of change.
Oh yeah.
You know what I
Time
mean?
it changes. It changes.
It changed dramatically. And when I'm not going to say it, what am I calling? Yellow man, red man, whatever. When he said, "Oh, y'all can leave early and get paid for 6 months," I was like, "Okay, that's what I'm gonna do." I
Yeah.
took the deferred.
I mean, so that was my next question, and I know we all have a story. So what 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 happened in your life to maybe shift your meaning in life? Like for
Yeah,
me, I know it was tuberculosis and cancer. That just kind of threw me this whole
yeah,
about face thing, man. But
yeah.
yeah, what
That
did you?
it makes you appreciate life a whole lot more.
Yeah,
The thing is, one of the things that my doctor always told me through my bout with cancer was, "How do you remain so positive?" And I said, you're never going to hear me say I beat
yeah,
cancer. You'll hear me say I survived cancer, but and you'll never hear me say why me. This is the road that God sent
yeah,
me down. This is part of my life plan. So I can go with the flow. You know what I mean? Let's get it cracking. Let's get this treatment started. Let's do this. Let's do that. And just move forward. But like I said, life became so much more precious at that time when you might have been overlooking a lot of stuff. It's like it's life changing. It's definitely life changing.
yeah,
Yeah. Well, mine is going to be health as well. It's going to be the two bouts of MS. You know,
Yeah,
when I first got diagnosed with MS, and the doctor told me, "Well, in 6 months you'll be in a wheelchair."
yeah,
You know, and I said,
yeah,
"No, it's not gonna-" That was June 1st, 2001. And I said,
yeah,
"Okay, give me my clothes. I got to go see another doctor." I went and saw another doctor. They said, "Well, we don't think you're gonna make 6 months." I said, "Make 6 months?" He said, "No, I'm talking about upright. You'll be in a wheelchair or bedridden. You got too many lesions on your spine and stuff like that." I
yeah.
said, "Okay." So I went and found a real doctor, and she said, "My job is to keep you upright. I don't care what they say." And I said, "You're my doctor."
Right,
Been treated with
right,
her. I treated with her for like 13 years. And then one day, I was like, every day I wake up, I pray, I thank God for, not giving me that wheelchair. I'm up walking around. I can't run. I can't do some of the stuff. I'm on steroids. I'm doing what I need to do to stay upright.
right, right.
But one morning I'll get up out of bed, 2 o'clock in the morning. I say, well, I'm ready to go to work. And I got out of bed and I fell on my face. Boom. And I said, oh my goodness. So I got back up. My wife said, what happened? I said, I don't know. She said, you got up too fast. Sat back down for another 15 minutes. I said, okay, I'm good. Got up, fell right back on my face. Boom. Oh, uh-oh. So I said, my wife, I said, what? I can't get up. She said, what do you mean you can't? I said, I can't move. I can't move. What do you mean you can't? I can't move anything. Get some help in here. And
Yeah.
so we got 911. They came and got me. And I laid up in that hospital for 6 days where I couldn't move from the neck down. I mean,
Yeah.
every morning I woke up and I said to God, wow, wait, I can't move a finger. I can't move a toe. Is this what you got planned for me? Is this it? And then one day, after the 7th day, a therapist came in, tapped me on my leg, and my toe moved. I said, "Uh-oh, I'm back."
Yeah. I just need a sign.
I just need a sign. And he was like, "What do you
Yeah.
mean?" I said, "Well, whatever you did," he said, "I didn't do that. You did it." I said, "Oh no, God did it. We good."
Yeah.
I said, "I'm
Yeah.
back," and it took about, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks, and I was back to
Right.
able to sit up in a wheelchair, and I did that for a couple months, and then I was able to get up and walk and back to walking. So but that just let me know it could go that fast.
Yeah.
And the important thing about that story, Tommy, you didn't take verbatim what one doctor said.
Oh
You
no.
know, what I mean, you went out there and you found that right doctor for you.
Oh,
And like,
playing basketball Thursday. This was on a Saturday. I said, I'm
yeah,
playing basketball on Thursday. You're not going to tell me that I'm going to be in a wheelchair in 6 months. That ain't going to happen. They were like,
yeah,
we looking at medically. What we looking medically, that's what's going to happen.
right,
But I
right,
found that doctor, and she said, there's no cure for MS, and
Yeah.
God has the last say on any of this. So,
absolutely,
so I said,
absolutely.
you,
Look,
you're my doctor.
God can take you out of here with a common cold.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So you're right.
Absolutely.
He got the last
He
word.
got the last word,
Yeah,
and I, like you said, Vincent, taking that positive attitude, approach to
yeah,
things. I didn't get to see you, Vince, while you had your bout with cancer, but I did see Chris, in the hospital. I mean, and you know, that was one of the toughest moments for me. But to keep him positive, I cried all the way up to the hospital when I found out that he had it, and I went up there and
yeah,
I cried, all the way to the hospital. When I got there, I said, okay, he don't want to see that, So,
yeah,
I got in there laughing. He was in there. Deb was in there. I think Chris and Devin was in there. I don't know if Nicole was there or not, but we was all there. We started talking, chatting, and laughing, and I was like, "Oh, this is gonna be all right," you
yeah,
know. And Chris, he
absolutely.
Oh,
took a positive attitude.
Well,
my
my
what, you
But
go through the stages.
I think he was fronting for us. He had to be a
No,
little.
nah.
He
No, I wasn't. I wasn't. I was fine. You go through the stages. You
okay.
go through the stages. You go
yeah,
when you first hear it, it's like wow, because it kind of like knocks you out.
Oh
But
right,
yeah.
once, like Vincent said, once you realize, my biggest thing was for the first time in my life, I didn't think I was invincible.
right,
Because you think all
right.
we went through in the schoolyard, the ball, everything we did, you hurt in sports, you just played through it. You just
Yeah,
for the
brush it
first,
off and keep
yeah.
it moving.
I
Yeah,
was, for the first time, I don't know how Superman feel when that kryptonite comes out.
yeah. Well, you know what?
There's
My
nothing you can
daughter,
do.
my
Well,
daughter.
like you said, right. Like when I heard about Vince and about the cancer, it was already gone. But I still cried because I was like,
Well,
wow, I could have lost.
what I
We
what I
could have
have
lost him.
what I have, Tommy. I had prostate cancer,
Yeah, I know.
and right after receiving a biopsy, it metastasized to my hip and my
Yeah.
rib cage. It was about 4 spots throughout my body,
Mm-hmm.
including the prostate.
Wow.
So the doctor that I had at the time, I'm not going to say his name, although I want to.
Please don't. We don't want to get sued.
He told me, he said in front of my wife, well, we all got to die from something. And at the time, going through my head is, I'll lose everything I got if I hit this man, because I wanted to give him a right cross
Yeah,
uppercut combination
yeah.
so bad. But I'm looking at him, and then my peripherals, I'm looking at the other doctor on the other side, and she's shaking her head no. So, my wife, she got on, she did some research and found that the hospital that I was at wasn't even in the top 50 in the country in cancer survival. But, however, University of Pennsylvania was number 9, so that was the closest one in the region that I get to. I wasn't going to Baltimore.
Yeah.
So I went down there, and the difference in talking to him, and I have a oncology nurse, and her name is Shannon. She's part of my family now.
Mm.
She called me at work, and she's like, "Mr. Scott, you got time to talk?" I was like, I'm kind of looking through my retirement benefits and everything. She said, "Why are you doing that? You too young." I said, given my prognosis, my diagnosis, what's going on with me, I wanted to make sure everything's taken care of. She said, "Put that stuff away. You too young." She cursed, but I'm not going to curse on it. She said, "Put that stuff away. You too young." I was like, "Really?" And
Yeah.
it was like talking to somebody with a doctorate versus talking to an elementary school
Yeah.
student. You know what I mean? And I left that. She talked to me for 2 hours at work.
Mm.
She had already went through my whole file and everything. She said, we already got a program that we worked out for you, this, that,
Oh,
and the other. So I went through the program. I was cancer free. But unfortunately, what I have is called metastatic.
yeah.
So, you know, it can come back, and
I
I'll,
mean,
I'll
to
go
me,
through treatment again and keep it
yeah.
moving.
Yeah, my experience was, when I first found out, my doctor, same thing, thought he was a comedian. He calls me up at work, right? And he goes, "This is my urologist." He says, "Yeah, I got good news and bad news. Like, what do you want first?" So I said, "Well, what do you mean what I want first?" He says, "Are you sitting down?" No doctor should ever say that to anybody. Are you said it? I was like, "What?" Yeah. And he says, "Yeah, you have he said, "Yo, you have the good news is it's so small, it hasn't spread yet, but
Hmm.
the bad news is you have cancer." And he like jovial about this conversation. And I'm thinking to
Yeah.
myself, like, so now I'm thinking I gotta drive home, I gotta tell my wife, how you say to your wife, do I tell my kids or don't tell them?
Well,
You
yeah.
go, yeah, you just go through this whole thing, and then when I got
And
by the time but
as soon as a wife hears cancer,
yeah.
man,
Tears.
But
Waterfall.
people are
yeah,
stupid too because we
yeah,
decided we weren't going to tell anybody at first, right? Um,
yeah,
we just work ourselves. I mean, my kids knew, but we kept it in the family. I told my brothers and my mom and dad, so we kept it in the
right,
family. So then it was funny because all of a sudden, God was like, "You need to share this." It's funny because at the time I didn't know so many other people was going through something similar.
yeah. It's a lot of
Yeah,
people.
and a lot of guys wouldn't get anything done about it, so they were dying from it. But I
That's
remember
why.
some of the dumbest stuff that people were saying to me. Somebody
Yeah,
said to me, like 2 days before the surgery, "Yeah, man, my friend had it. They opened them up and they just shook their head and closed it up." How do you know that? Your friend don't know that because he was here. But that's the
yeah,
stuff he was saying to me. He's like, "Why would you say this?" So,
yeah,
I mean, but I had made up my mind, like, you know what, I'm gonna beat this. I made my mind up. So for me, it was funny because people, my family was thought I was crazy because they told me when I got home, he said, "Yo, dude, 24 hours you can start walking up and down the hallway."
yeah.
23 hours and 59 minutes. I was walking up and down the hallway, man. He was like,
Well,
"Yo, yeah." I
when
was like on it, man. Yeah.
my brother went through it, it was like just talking with his doctor.
Mhm.
The doctor that he had, I asked her, I said, out of curiosity, how many of these surgeries that do you do a year? She said over 350
Yeah.
a year. I said, man, and that's one doctor.
But Vince, think about it. Think about the number of people in our neighborhood.
Yeah,
Without mentioning names, and we start talking about it, we think about
yeah,
just in our neighborhood. That's
yeah.
crazy.
So it's a lot of people that go through
Yeah.
it, a lot of men. Yeah. And it's a lot of men that by the time they get it checked out, it's,
Yeah.
it's you know, it's kind of too late. It's one of the slowest moving cancers. However,
Yeah.
It
You
still
know,
can take you out of here.
they don't know. They have no idea how fast or how slow it spreads. So I mean, but it brings me to the next question. So how did that impact? We talked a little bit about it, but did that impact your family relationship anyway?
Well, where my wife and my daughter felt like I was a superhero and I never got sick and everything,
Yeah.
they kind of, and I don't like the feeling of the, oh, you shouldn't lift that, oh, you
Yeah.
shouldn't do this, because when I got radiation, they like, your bones can become brittle. So I take calcium. I have to take calcium every day for like the rest of my life. And it's like I'm not used to being handled with kid gloves like that. You know, my daughter was like, growing up, Dad, you was like a superhero. Anything I need did, anything I need you to do, you
Yeah.
did. Anything you need to be fixing around the house, you all up on ladders, you doing this, you doing that. And she said, you getting sick is just something I can't wrap my head around.
Yeah.
So
But you
they
know
they
what?
treat me a little different.
Yeah, like you said, Chris. I mean, sometimes it's hard to get the message to family that you are right. You're gonna be
Yeah,
okay. I mean,
yeah,
when I was in the hospital and I couldn't move nothing, and my sister came up and saw me, and she I mean laughed and joked and did all that kind of stuff. She must have left out of there and went home and told my mother. My mother called me up crying. You answered the phone? I said, what do you mean? Your sister said that Superman was gone. You-
Yeah.
Superman is gone. He's no longer Superman. And my mom thought, that she called my wife up. Is he everything okay? Did he? My wife said he's still here. He hanging in there. He doing what he's supposed to do. But so it made me think. When you go through something, the mess is out. Like you said, Chris, you got to be cautious on
Yeah.
how it goes out because family
absolutely.
will treat you uh,
Yeah.
like Vince is saying, on eggshells and
Yeah,
tiptoeing around you, and look, and I don't want to put them through that as well.
right,
So
right.
I want them to know, look, I'm gonna do the
Right.
best I can every day.
Well, but I think that was part of the worst part of it was seeing their faces when they found out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think that was really to what Ben said because you could see the disbelief, like this can't be you. You could see the disbelief, and I was like, "Yo, you never get sick." So
yeah.
that was interesting, man. Just going through the whole process of
But
healing
you
and
know,
yeah,
everyone that I've talked to now that says, "Oh, my PSA is getting a little high," I'm like, "Get on it. Take care of
yep,
it. Get it taken care of as soon as possible,
yep.
because that that aggressive watching or whatever they call it,
Wait and
nah,
see.
yeah." Because mine, like I said, after I had a biopsy, mine metastasized. And anytime it metastasized, they think of it as stage 4 cancer,
Mm-hmm.
and it attached to my hip. This doctor where I was at talking about replacing my hip socket and all this other stuff, but it's in my rib cage too. You can't replace no ribs, buddy. I went to the University of Pennsylvania. They was like, we got you. I went through like a month of radiation, and then I came back for another 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And I was going to work every day, and then going to radiation, then going
Yeah,
home, then going to work, then going to radiation, then going home.
yeah,
The
living.
radiation takes a lot out of some people, and some people it don't. It just so happened it didn't affect me that bad, so I was able to go get it done and keep it moving. But you got some people it just zaps all the energy, or they get
yeah.
sick.
It helps that you was a world class athlete.
That might have had something to do with it. I
I
don't
think,
know.
but I also think for us, because our sense of competition, not wanting to lose, it was in everything.
Yeah,
It was in everything. Because I remember, when people were saying all this stuff, I'm thinking not me.
yeah,
This.
yeah.
I'm like, yeah, and you really don't know, but the fight in you.
No,
'Cause, I remember when I was in the hospital, there was a dude in the bed next to me, and he had he was terminal. He had pancreatic
yeah,
cancer, and he was going to die, and he knew it. And I
yeah,
remember him talking to me. You know, um, because he wanted to go home. He wanted to die with his family. All the things he wanted to do, they never got a chance to do. Things he wanted to say, he never got a chance to say. And you
Yeah.
know, I think we were in there for about a day together. Yeah, and that just hit home with me. Like, you know, you're in a position where, you know, you didn't say you're sorry to this person. You didn't tell this person you love them enough. You know what I mean? All that stuff is like, wow.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
and it makes you look at things differently. And some of the things we get upset about are trivial.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the long run, it's not that important. It also made me value family more, because I think sometimes,
Absolutely.
yeah, you know,
Absolutely.
you love your wife, but you just figure she gonna be there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but when they got to take care of you, that's a whole different ball game, man. And I'm not easy. I'm not easy.
Yeah. I ain't easy either.
Me
You know?
My wife, she
Yeah.
talking about, you know, we went somewhere and she was like, you know, got to put her name as that as my caregiver, and I'm like, you ain't no caregiver. What are you talking about?
Yeah. Like, I'm not
Yes.
You
easy.
know,
She's
but
a
I
caregiver.
mean, they should put concerned loved one. You know what I mean? That caregiver, no, I ain't got no caregiver.
Oh
I
yeah.
ain't
That's
quite
our
there. I
pride.
ain't quite there yet.
Yeah. Matter of fact, my wife told me, you know, next surgery, I'm having surgery on the 29th of April. She was like, you better get a nurse. I said okay.
I ain't doing that no more. Huh?
She's
Yeah,
like, you need to get a nurse. I said, all right, I'll
yeah,
work on that.
I guess she says she's not a spring chicken either. Huh?
Nah,
yeah,
that's what she
yeah.
said. She said she
Look,
need to get a nurse. I said,
you
okay.
gotta think. While we getting old, our wives are getting old right along with us.
Make sure it. Make
I'm
sure it.
staying away from that topic, but
Yeah.
I ain't touching that one.
Yeah,
So, I mean, for me, you know, the ironic about the whole thing is that as a group, the three of us, the stuff we're talking about, you know, the stuff that we've been through, is kind of remarkable. You know how, to me, I think it all started where we came from.
yeah,
You know, that sense of, you know, we're not gonna lose.
right.
You know, we're gonna do our best no matter what it is.
Yep.
You know, and it's funny how you,
Because
yeah,
it never crossed my mind to quit or the
yeah,
woe is me. Oh my God, I
Yeah.
might have had, you know, I sat, you know, be sorry for myself for about 5-10 minutes,
yeah.
and then brush myself off. All right, let's go.
Well, when you first
I'm
hear it,
I'm trying to be here. You know.
it's a shock when you first hear it. And I don't know if this
Yeah.
happened to the two of you. It was funny because I found out. I think I found out on a Friday. Yeah, it was a Friday. I found out, and
Yeah.
so it was around. It was college football season. So I'm sitting down watching football, and it seemed like every team had somebody with a pink ribbon talking about cancer. Every team. I was like, yo,
Yeah.
yeah. Then I turned to the NFL coming the next day. I was like, what is it? So I was like, am I just missing it?
Well, you notice it more.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm thinking.
It's
So yeah,
personal. It's personal now.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
You know what I mean? You part
I
of
was like,
that club.
Yeah.
but it was like, wait a minute, like, and I said, so to your point, and I'm thinking like, was I just not paying attention before, or is it just, you know, is it that prevalent? And you said it, like one doctor did 300 surgeries. That's crazy.
It's prevalent. It's prevalent. I mean, while I was going through my situation, it was two other guys going through the same. Well, actually three going through the same thing. One guy, but two of them, the radiation just totally put them down. They couldn't come to work, you know, so they was out, you know, and the other guy, he had his prostate removed, but it metastasized to his rib cage anyway.
Hmm.
Mm.
So, you know, and they just tell you once it metastasized, it can either come back or not come back. You know, you may have another bout down the road. It may be 5 years, it may be
This is
10
why you gotta
years,
get
it
better.
may be never.
But I think this is why guys have to do a better job of going to the doctors. I know we did a show on
Yeah,
mental health.
absolutely.
We did a show on mental health.
Absolutely.
This is putting it all together. Guys got to do a better job of self care.
They do. They do. I mean, the thing is I know all of us as men at one point in time was like, you know, thought, nah, not me.
Yeah,
And that keeps a lot of men, you know, that keeps the graveyard full,
yeah,
you know, on minor stuff that they can go get taken care of,
But that was me.
and
I was
keep it
thinking,
moving.
it's just like I've never had a chicken pox.
Look, I got chicken pox at 28 years old.
I've never had a chicken pox. So I'm
Yeah,
thinking to myself, like, yeah, like, yo, how do you skip the chicken pox and go to this? In my head is what I'm saying. Like,
yeah,
and it's a sense of helplessness, which that's the only time I've ever felt like that. There was
hmm
nothing I could do about it. But like you said, man, you take a few seconds or take a couple, few minutes, whatever, and you get yourself together and you move on.
yeah,
But it was definitely, and I think that word alone, when you hear that word, it sounds like,
yeah.
yeah,
Well, it's kind of a culture shock because you come to the realization is, man, I am normal.
yeah, yeah.
I'm special, but I ain't that special. It's,
And then you run into
I'm
people like,
in
I'm not going to
I'm in
say
that
names,
line with everybody else.
like I'll use first names. I'm not going to say whole names, but like when I ran into Frank and I saw him because he didn't get the surgery and I saw what he was going through. I mean, literally, Vincent, he was so skinny, man, that his belt was literally like almost tied around to keep his pants up. And he
Yeah,
and every step he was in pain. I'm thinking, why wouldn't you get it done? And
and and
and even we know some other people who didn't get it done.
and that's the thing.
And it just
Why
took them
lose
away.
your life? Why lose your life over something that's preventable?
Well,
That's
because
something when you go to the doctors and you get checked out. One of the things I treated myself to was all through life. I always did an annual checkup on my birthday. That was my treat to me, And like now at 63 years old, I'm thinking longevity. I'm thinking about I'm trying to be here forever, even though I know I won't. But I'm trying to do all the right stuff. You know what I mean? Change my eating habits. I still snack and whatnot and enjoy life, but certain things is cut out. Some new things to bring in, but
yeah,
just trying to be here. You know what I mean?
but I
Try
think
to be healthy.
when I talk to guys about prostate, the reason why a lot of them don't do it because the ED part.
Yeah,
But what they don't tell you is because my doctor didn't tell me this. I got this because a friend of mine referred me to some office specialist that even if you don't get it, you suffer with that. You want to get ED eventually.
this the thing. Would
Yeah.
you rather have ED or not be here?
Right.
Well, but
You know what I
that's my.
mean?
But I actually I was sitting down talking to my wife about it. And that was the conversation we had
Yeah,
because as men we sometimes think the emphasis is on that.
yeah.
Like we think that's a make or break deal or deal breaker. Yeah,
Of course, it's stuff you can do. You
yeah.
know, stuff you
But
can do to get back.
the people who I knew didn't get it, who suffered, that's why. That was the reason they
Yeah.
did.
Who wants to suffer? I want to die in my sleep. I don't want to. I don't want to walk around, suffering something on
You
the
sound like
inside
me.
of me. You know what I mean? Going to hell in a handbag. Nah. I want to die in my sleep. But like, man, he was fine yesterday. You know what I mean? And the thing is, if it's something I can prevent, it's like,
Yeah,
okay, let's get it done. This too shall pass. Rather than let me sit on it and hope it don't get that bad.
yeah,
Look, you're just like everybody else. If it's going to progress, it's going to progress. Prostate cancer, they say, moves so slow that if you get diagnosed in your 70s, they
yeah,
usually say, let it go. He's going to die of something else
yeah,
first.
yeah.
you
I mean, it's
know?
funny because but they still don't know how fast it spread. It's right. It's so slow,
Right.
and it kind of like. But it's interesting because we talked about it before. How where's your mind and who you're with? Because it was a friend of mine told me because her uncle got it and she was curious about it, so she was asking me about it, and she told me his wife told him don't get the surgery for that ED thing. And I'm thinking like I might have to get a divorce. If my wife told me don't get the cancer surgery, don't get you know,
I'll be like,
yeah.
peace. I'll
But
see
she's
you. I'll see you when I'm with my next wife.
but for
Because
some
I
people
mean,
different. What I'm learning for some people, that's a definition of intimacy.
yeah.
They
Well,
feel
the thing is intimacy is in your heart. You know
yeah,
what I mean? Because you can be intimate and it don't have to lead to, oh, we having sex and this, that, and the other. Plus, I don't know what it is. As you get older, your interest in it is kind of like it ain't as like it was when you was, that teenager. But it's stuff you can do and stuff you can take,
Well,
and it puts you back on the right track.
this is another reason why I need therapy because I still feel like, hey,
Hey,
and you know what? It's funny because that's probably why. Because the thought of not being able to, and I still can.
yeah.
Yo, man, like, hey,
Yeah,
you
feels
know,
good.
Well,
yeah,
think about it this way: that over still waking up every morning.
yeah. Oh, I agree, but I think that's why
Yeah.
I think my appetite is little hasn't, dwindled because I remember possibly thinking that I could never again.
Well, no. Well, the thing is the treatment.
Yeah,
You go through it, but
yeah,
then you eventually come back out to yourself.
yeah.
You
See,
know,
like me, it's
you
like
go through it. You go through a bout, and then you get back to yourself.
to me, I felt like it's like all the cheesesteaks we ate, and then all of a
Hmm.
sudden I get to a point where maybe I'm allergic to them, but then all of a sudden I can eat them again. Yo,
Yeah.
yo, bring it on.
Right.
Yeah, so but yeah, but so and that's a whole nother show because I think people we never and I've been having this conversation a lot lately. As we wrap up, why is it that people think men are not emotional? That
We
we don't
are.
go through those same things.
We just hard headed. We are emotional, but
Oh
we
yeah,
just hard. We hard headed.
but a lot of people just
Yeah.
don't think we're emotional. Like I was doing a workshop today, and that was one of the conversations. I was explaining how men don't like when women holler at them. You can talk to us all day long, but once you start hollering,
Yeah.
we typically tune out. It's like Charlie Brown, want, want, want.
Yeah.
And
Well, you know what? I
yeah,
used to tell people, when you're married, you get to a point in your marriage where if you listen until, let's say the Eagles game is on and the TV down low and your wife is talking over here, you can hear everything on the TV, but you don't hear nothing. She be like, "Hey, what you say?" I think it's a superpower or something. I don't know.
yeah,
Because
but
you totally focused on the TV and it's like wah 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 wah
I
wah
think
wah wah wah. Huh?
but for some reason, a lot of people think that we're not, and I say that because even when we go through what like we've been, the three of us, we've been through something. You know,
Yeah,
we're not. We ain't talking about a hangnail. We ain't talking about we've been through something. But
yeah,
I think some people look at you like like we shouldn't be emotional about it. Or like Tommy said, when he saw me, or like we cry for each other. People think
yeah,
that's not, and I think that kind of goes with when people find out that you're sick.
yeah,
They still expect you to be this concrete block.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and like I said, I might have mentioned in another one of our meetings where the older I get, the more emotional I'm getting. You know,
Yeah.
like me and my wife went to see a movie called Wuthering Heights. I'm looking at the movie. And it got to a sad part, and I'm
Yeah.
feeling my eyes well up, and I'm like, "Oh my god!" It was a good movie though, but you know,
Man, so
usually stuff I really don't care about, but
But it got you to that sensitive. You're
yeah,
sensitive emotionally.
actually, yeah,
I see this
actually,
all events, man. My emotions are all over the place. I don't have the patience I used to have.
yeah,
Like you said, people easily push my buttons. I do a good job of hiding them, but my emotions all over the place, man. I found
yeah.
myself
Well,
frustrated, so I agree.
I
Yeah,
don't, I don't get mad as easy.
I agree.
I don't. See, I
Not
look at
mad, but
people and be
frustrated.
like, I look at people and be like, I'm in a good spot, and I'm like, not going to let
I
you.
don't get
You
mad,
know
but
what I mean? I'm not going to let you move me off of that.
I get frustrated a lot more than I used to,
Yeah,
and I have to do. But I have to monitor it more to control that I don't, because I always say this: whoever control your emotions control you. So I got to make
yeah,
sure. But to your point, I do feel like that. I feel like, man, why am I so emotional? Because back in the day, nothing bothered you.
yeah,
You just shrugged it
yeah.
off and you just kept moving. Now it's like, yeah. So yeah, I
Yeah.
agree with you 200%, man.
But you know what? Sometimes when you're dealing with idiots, you can kill them with intelligence.
yeah,
Yeah.
You know, you can talk over their head and they don't even realize it.
Yeah.
You know,
They'll hit them later.
They hit them later, like, man, I sound real dumb right about
Right.
that. Yes, you do.
And some people
Yes,
never hit them.
yes, you do.
Right.
Yeah.
And asterisk, see the White House. But that's a whole different story. But some people never figure it out, man. But yeah, so but I think as we age, to your point, I'm not ready to call
Mhm.
myself a senior citizen, Vince. You used that term several times. I ain't
Look,
getting that
bro,
much yet.
I'm gonna tell you this. When I was
But,
getting my meds and stuff, and I told the guy on the other side, I said, look, I'm a senior citizen now. I'm retired and I'm getting Social Security. Do you have any plans that pay copay? He said, oh, we got a plan for you to pay $7,000 a year copay. I was like, my man,
Yeah.
yes, I'm taking
yeah,
that title. I
yeah.
am a senior citizen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Man, there's
Well,
so many
I'm eligible
programs
for
and
Medicaid now, so that, I guess
mhm.
that's the sound you're eligible for Medicaid. Like, I used to
Well,
watch,
I can't even get it yet.
but we kid, I used to watch the
Yeah,
commercials. Like, what's
You
that?
gotta
No,
be 65.
now it's like,
gotta be
yeah,
65.
You
Yeah.
gotta be
yeah.
65. So
Or close,
Chris
you got
ain't
to be in
there.
that
Chris, you
65th
ain't
year.
there yet. Now you still got a couple months.
No,
Yeah.
you don't have to be 65. In that year, you can do it. The year you
Yeah,
turn
you can do it
65,
in
you
that
can do it.
year.
I didn't know
Yeah,
that. Oh, so
yeah,
Yeah.
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 Okay. Yeah, I'll be
Because
60.
I get stuff from
But
everybody, man.
but a lot of programs I look at, you gotta be 65.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
So
Vince,
I'm in that gray area.
yeah, because I mean, you would still sneak in there early. Your birthday in December, but
Yep.
if it's within that year, you a year away.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
be
but
64 in this December, right?
yeah.
So the next year, when you be eligible next year, if it's
Yeah,
something
I
like
could apply in
that,
December.
by January.
Yeah.
That's quick. That's pretty quick. Good for you, man.
Yeah, man, it's a trip, man.
If that's
But
what it is.
anyway, so another interesting show in the books, guys. Another
Yeah.
interesting show in the books, man. So how you like the new digs, man? I think it's pretty cool. I like it
Like
better.
I said,
We get
I
a whole
love
show,
this
yeah.
format. I love this format.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
get a
It's
whole
I
show.
cool.
know what happened. Well, I know what happened to Mike. Like I said, Mike was
Right.
under the weather, and but I don't know what happened to Kev.
But we can
Yeah.
put on this format right here, we can hold 10 people at a time.
No, okay.
Oh, only 10? Okay.
Yeah.
Only. I
Did
mean,
you
what else is only 10? This ain't
No,
Zoom
no,
got
no,
50.
no. I was just asking.
Yeah,
did we
Zoom is
reach
like
out
50.
to Rick?
I didn't give him the code. I got to give him the code, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Funny story because last time we were on, he tried to get on like 9:30.
Well, he
Yeah.
in a
9:30, my
different
phone,
time.
yeah. Rick is in the waiting room, and he's still in the waiting room.
He gonna be there. He might as well bring a blanket and a pillow because he gonna
Like,
be there.
yo. Yeah, so he missed it, man. But yo,
Yeah.
it's been another episode. Great talking to you guys, man.
Absolutely.
Same here. Same here.
So I
Yeah.
will be see you next week, same time, man.
Are we getting together this month? What you think? Or we gonna look at next month?
Nah,
Now, we supposed to talk about barbecue too. So
I'm thinking. Let me grab my calendar right now. I'm thinking the best because the only Saturdays I have free in April would be none. I'm done.
none. Okay.
No, I'm
All
done.
right.
'Cause, yeah, I'm done. I got this Saturday. I got the men's breakfast. Next Saturday I have a funeral that I got to go to, man.
Well, for me and Tommy, every day is Saturday. So
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
but
so we got plenty of.
So it don't have to be on a Saturday. It don't have to be on a calendar Saturday.
Hey, for real.
Right,
I'm
man.
good. I'm good. May 2nd, the first Saturday in May.
All right. Well, maybe we can kick around,
Yeah.
throughout this month and
See how everybody looks.
see about scheduling something for
Because I
May.
know we were talking about doing dinner with the wives too. But anyway,
Yeah.
yeah. So I'm May 2nd. So when we get Mike back and Kev back, we'll look at May 2nd.
Okay.
All right.
Works for me. All right, my brothers. As usual, much love. It's always a joy talking with you guys.
Well, see, now we can go out in style, man. We don't have to do the abrupt thing. We
Oh, that's one thing that is. You're right, man. The music is a lot clearer.
Yeah. Yeah, I was sitting there listening to the whole song. I was like, yeah,
uh,
wow.